So let's talk about me versus the RPG pundit this morning. Last night he did a video about me and, I responded, right? But now I want to talk about something a little different between me and him. Who are we when it comes to being in the tabletop role-playing game hobby and being on the market? Well, I'm a tabletop role-playing game designer, and he's a third-party content creator. I call it like this. It's innovation and creativity with me versus copycat energy with him. Why do I say that? Well, the RPG pundit does what? First, he clones a game, right? And brings you some host rules, not innovation. I mean, that's true, right? And not just that, he copies everything. Even his content is what? Studying history and just taking ideas from there. There's nothing really innovating about that. Like on the innovation end, anyone could just look at history and take their ideas and apply it to the game. That's not hard. Home game masters do that casually, right? I would imagine some have been doing it for so long that their personal private ideas that are not out on the market, many of them might be better than what you're seeing in the products that the RPG pundit is putting on the market. I don't mind guys like him existing and making money, but they're here just to make money. When you look at the RPG pundit, you know that. Right away, if it wasn't for him making money with the OSR, he wouldn't care about the OSR. He doesn't care about the future of the OSR. He only cares about how the OSR works for him. Same thing with the old school tabletop role-playing game community. If he wasn't making money from it, he wouldn't care. He has no real passion for it. It's all about making money. That's why he's copy and paste, copy and paste. Copycat energy. When you get to me, there's a difference. I have a passion for this. See, I talk about things people don't want to hear that are concerns about the future of the old school. Right? Because if you care, you want things to work out. You want it to be there for the future. Because I don't think the new school really offers certain things. I think the old school offers something special. And many of us who care about this thing, it's done something very special for our lives. It's brought something amazing to our lives. And we know this. And we want it to be around for the coming generations. Not just as a niche, but something that's out there for them to encounter when they get in this hobby. Not something hidden away in a corner. Right? We don't want that, but that is where things are likely to go if you don't care about the old school. It will just drag down. And we can't sit back and pretend that we got this thing going. The OSR wasn't something we really pushed. I mean, it just bringing any old game back to the market in some new way is automatically going to get you money. You don't need to sell that. You don't need to promote that. That's not your work achieving that. That's just something that the market wants, like the customer base wants. Easy to serve, not really hard, right? Because it's copy and paste, right? And then when you look at other boosts, like from Stranger Things, well, I mean, you get a boost there, right? What does that have to do with anyone in the hobby? Nobody. In the old school, in the 50 years of their existence, 50 plus years, there's no boost they got outside of AD&D First Edition that has to do with the people leading in that community of people. Like the leaders did not achieve that. They all failed. It is the work of other people that got them the boost, and they got to ride it each time. But each time they get a boost, they ride it into the ground, because let alone they can't really lift that part of the hobby up. When given something, they can't even maintain it. Now you get to my game, made from the ground up. Now you're going to see similar things, like there's charts, right? There's similar things, but don't get confused with what you're seeing. Yeah, many games have ability scores and charts and that. That you're going to see. It doesn't mean my game is not fresh and new. It's not OSR. It's not copycat. What you're seeing is like a chart that, when it's put together in its own unique way and functions with the rest of the rules of the game, you find your uniqueness. That's where you find my innovation. It's like, of course I'm going to use similar things to other games, like charts and tables and whatnot. But it's really the combination of the package that makes it innovation, like something new, right? It's that's how it is. It's not like I can create a new version of a chart. This is how charts are. It's just how is mine put together different than others. A little different, right? Because it has to do with the game mechanics. And when that all comes together, that's where you find your smoothness. My game works. 15 plus years of game testing. And I made it myself. Let's be honest. Sorry about the break there. But let's be honest. You know, making your own game is really, really, really hard. Like, it's the hardest thing you could possibly do. Forget making a pretty book. The hardest challenge in the hobby is making a game. But let's go back in history a bit and look at how things work when it comes to innovation in the hobby. In the 80s, it's the only time you really see true innovation in the tabletop role-playing game hobby. And everything after that is sort of like a copy and paste. Even before the OSR, there's sort of the idea of what the OSR is already exists. Most of the games that come past like the 90s, it's all games that not just are inspired, but pretty much built off of older games. So it's OSR in that way. It's copy and paste. See, what happened was back at one point there's innovation because there's almost no choice. So customers are desperate. Same thing happened in the video game community. People were desperate. They were willing to buy junk, buy anything, buy games that looked terrible. But it's through that they found some people, no matter how terrible the product looked, they found some people ready to improve it and give them what they want. At no other time in the tabletop role-playing game hobby outside of that were customers so desperate that they would actually take a real risk. Customers, unlike the video game hobby, in the tabletop role-playing game hobby, the customers just were, they didn't want to risk. I mean, this was true early on and remained true. And so you only really get it one period of time where there's innovation, new games, new engines to work off of. Again, when you jump over to the video game industry, the same thing. They had a bunch of people attempt to make game engines, but it really, only 5 or 6 really got out of that and became the engines that all games were pretty much built off of, I think until something like Assassin's Creed. So I look at what I'm doing like sort of coming in as that new game engine, right? The new innovator of our time. And innovators are not supported. They're like people that are going to bring something new in. There's no risk takers, really. There's not many risk takers in the audience of the tabletop role-playing game hobby. Like, that's where you hear the accusations that 5e people mostly only play 5e. And the old school is the same thing. They stick to just buying many clones. They do not take a risk. And that means new innovation and new ideas just don't happen. But then what do you hear the customer base doing? They complain about a lack of innovation and a lack of options, because it's not like there's not a lot of options, but they don't like most of them. So you can say there's every game on the market, but it doesn't seem to be, because, well, a lot of people are turning around going, oh, well, I want to do this thing, but I'm not happy with my choices. Well, I'm like, guess what? I brought something brand new. It might be the choice you're happy with. But the only way my thing gets going is if I get support, which is what all innovators need in the hobby, and they don't get, right? Because our customer base is against risk. And then you have these copycat energy people going out and attacking people like me, like the RPG pundit, trying to tear me down. He brings nothing to the hobby other than wanting to use it for money. And the one guy who does bring something innovative, new to the hobby ain't... Hey, doggy. Well, let's put real life aside. So many noises in the background. You know, I get thrown under a bus instead of supported. And I brought it something credible, right? Something so good, people are going to try to steal the thing and make it their own, but they're just not creative enough to continue making something for it. So it's one of those things where even for you to be a sort of a third-party person on my product, you really got to get to know it, and you got to get to know me, and you got to get to understand certain things. Because there's things that, well, it's like Gary, you're going to have to come and ask me questions about the game. I know this. I knew this from the start. I can't answer every question in detail. There's a million. And there's a million I haven't even thought of. So I know people are going to ask, but I have the answers. I know I do in my head. It's like unlocking things, right? And it's even out of the free stuff people got. Like, they don't understand. They don't understand. That's really the problem. Right? So if you copy it, I guarantee it's going to break on you. Right? There's certain, and I made sure of that. Like, I implanted things in there that will Like you try to add the new class that you don't know you shouldn't. Snap. Add the wrong item that you shouldn't because I have so much science done in this game. Snap. And I made the game to break into pieces for anyone who wants to take it carelessly and try to put it back out in the market. Go ahead, make it pretty, but it's going to be a junk game. They're going to have issues, and here's what's going to happen. If you make a game based on my formula popular, your game is going to have issues. You're not going to be that creative. You're not going to bring out too much for it. And people are going to find out what I'm doing, and that it's my engine, and that I understand it in detail, and then they'll see the fucking amount of content just outside of the game mechanics that are built for the game, and they're going to go, there's a mountain of shit we want, because it's all good. Like, if you steal the formula, well, all my stuff would work for that. Well, just imagine the mountain of awesome shit that I have, that people will prefer to have over yours. So I purposely have sabotaged people that want to steal my game. But hey, they're going to try. I look forward to seeing how that works out for them. I mean, hey, good luck. You won't, when it breaks on you, you won't even see it coming. You'll have no idea. And and here's the thing, since you're stealing my idea, you won't even know how to answer your customers. Your customers are going to ask you shit, and you're not going to have the answer for them. I will, right? So there you go. Steven Saunders, the innovator and creative. Now, recently I made a video that I know the RPG pundit can't make. It's allowing you to get inside the mind of a game designer. He's not a game designer. He makes third-party products. So there's something I know about game design. I don't copy and paste from the past either when I'm making my content outside of the game mechanics. I make everything out of this. I think it up. I'm a creative. And I show you my chain line of thinking and how that works for game design. It's in a recent video where in the label, or the title of the video, you'll see Edmund's World. Check that video out just recently. And if you're a game designer, a real game designer, unlike the RPG pundit, it's really going to show you, talk about the chain and how that becomes your content, how that becomes your work, and how you should focus on that. And then I give you an example of me using the chain to make Edmund's World, right? And I give you Edmund's World, which is a update, just showing some of the people, sort of like the update on my work, where I'm improving, from the rough original PDF to just learning more about creating PDFs and all that shit. I have upgraded. And I want to show that off. So if you go check out that video, you'll also see a Dropbox link down below. And you can go download the third week of new content for Skullhorn, because it's my editions. Get this. Here's the promise I give to customers. If you buy an edition, on top of me improving the work that you're going to originally see when you get it, you're going to get new content every week for 1 year. That's a promise I make. One, the price, you pay for it, and then you get the new content. I only warn people is this, as I keep adding more content, the price will go up. As the quality of all the content improves, mainly the core PDF, once I have a whole new version of that really looking really pretty and up, and you get all the content, there's going to be a final price, and that price is just going to be the price going forward. But the price will gradually go up through time as I add more content, so it becomes worth more just through the content. And then as I add quality, I don't charge for quality right now. I don't charge for any, so the work as far as putting the PDF to get all the manual stuff, there's no charge for that. You're only paying for the text game that you experience at the table. So I'm only selling you the experience at the table. I'm not selling you the prettiest product. I get that, but I sort of come at this like a stream thing. I wanted to come at this new because my lack of options meant I had to take a different approach, right? I didn't want to be put off the market, have to wait 10 years or 5 years or find the right. No, there's so many people out there that get close to putting a game out in the market and they don't because of all the difficulties. And I said, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to do the stream thing like Rust. I'm a Rust player for video games. I like Rust. I got it when, over 10 years ago or something like that, when it was called Legacy. And it looked like crap. The idea of the game wasn't bad, but it looked like crap. Just the product alone was shit. And then over the next 10 years, they kept improving the product unstopped, right up till now. Now at full price, it's 4 times the amount that I paid for it. I paid $15 for Legacy. I think it's over $60 now for the same game. At least I'm a Canadian. That's what the price comes up for me. But for the $15 I paid, I got all the years of updates, I got the newest version of Rust. Is I own that, but I own it all for the one-time purchase. So what I tell people is, even though I'm going through the process of upgrading this product and putting out new content, if you buy it now, you buy it for cheap. And then by the time everything is done, the quality PDF and the weeks of content, you got all that for this cheaper price. If you keep waiting to purchase, as I'm putting content out, the price will keep going up. Now, I have an end goal for what the cost is going to be. Now, another thing is, if you want to get it even cheaper, I do have a setup for that too. There's a bundle. All those things are linked below, but there's a bundle you can find. And the bundle has both Skullhorn and Invasion. And you're going to save $15 on that purchase. So you get both games at $15 less if you bought them separate, right? So, yeah, and the modern game, I mean, both editions are fucking amazing, and I love them. And I'm running them right now in life. And I'm not someone who made the fucking game. I love the fucking game. Like, I love this thing. I made it work smooth like butter. I mean, even I'm enticed to, like, run to the game and get excited and play. And that's my own game. I'm not like a cook who smells his own food, and at the end of it, he's not that hungry. No, man, I made this game initially for me. Right, so of course I'm going to be excited. I adjusted it for all of us. But initially, I really started off with the idea of making a game for myself, hence the game test. I don't want to sit there and game test a game I don't like for 15 years. So I got hooked on my own fucking game. I'm hooked on this game. Like, I know you're not purchasing it, or you're making fun, or you're ripping it down, but I'm hooked, and I love it, and I'm like, man, you're missing out, dude. You're missing out. And if you put your money to something else and fuck me over, and you like what I'm putting out, then you don't get more of it. Like, you're going to like what I made. And you're going to want more. This is play the long game, not the short game, where you're pissed off at me for an opinion, and you throw me under the bus. Play the long game where you think past that and go, if I support him now, this guy's around doing work, this thing keeps getting improved, what a great fucking thing. If you play the short game and you're selfish and you're an asshole, or you think it just doesn't matter, you'll keep buying the same OSR shit that is not innovation, it's not creativity, it's all copy and paste energy. And then when that goes up against me, the audience is going to side with the person who brings nothing and uses the hobby against someone who cares about the hobby and brings innovation and creativity. Your priorities in this hobby, for many of you, are ass backwards. You know, hey, I'm doing my best, and I won't stop, because I know I did something really great and special here. I gave something back to the hobby, instead of using it. Something the RPG pundit doesn't understand. For now, I love you, at least most of you. Take care.